We are back with your chance to ask Attorney Stewart Vance your legal questions live here on the air. So we're going to go straight back to the phone lines. We have Catherine from Montgomery. Catherine, what's your question?
Good morning, and thanks for taking my call. In one of the recent storms, my neighbor's tree fell into my backyard, and it's right near the fence line. I was wondering if my responsibility to have it cut up, or is my neighbor's responsibility?
Well, you can reach out to them because sometimes their homeowner's policy will cover a downed tree that caused some damage. So that'd be my first place to check. But ultimately, you have a responsibility to mitigate your damages. So if it's causing a problem, pets getting out, whatever it might be, you need to try to get that repaired on your end, or at least on your side, even if it's just cutting it off from your side and getting rid of that debris. And then you could go to them and say, hey, I need you to cover this cost. That could get it a little sticky. So my first suggestion is always call the neighbor to see what they're working on. It could be they've already reached out to their insurance company, they're waiting on an adjuster or that sort of thing. So if you just communicate with them, that's a great place to start. And then if their homeowners doesn't cover it, your homeowners may cover the part that's damaged on your side, because there's a part of insurance policies where the insurance company will go back on their own time and their own expense. They'll go back and try to collect their money from the other insurance company. It's called subrogation. So your insurance company may pay it, and then they'll go back and get their money back. When they do, they typically will pay you back your deductible. That's a little thing that happens a lot in car wrecks. If you have to use your own car insurance company to fix your car, they go back and try to get their money from the at-fault party. So same thing works with homeowners, so start there. That should help you.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
Catherine.
you so much.
Let's go to Monty now in Montgomery. Monty, what is your question?
Good morning to the both of you. My question is, I rented a storage shed from one of the local storage shed company, and as a little bit over 2.5 years ago. So as it getting close to me, I'm thinking that it's time for me to being able to pay it off. I called them, and they told me that I still had a little bit over 60 months to pay for this storage shed. So my question is, they sent me a contract in the mail to show me that I had a little bit over 60 months still left on the contract, but it's not my signature. So what do I do from there?
Well, that's a great question, because it happens a lot, especially in today's day and age of signing documents, DocuSign, those type of things on phones. It can be considered your signature depending on how they got it. If they say they texted it, sent a text to you with it and had you sign it, or an email and you signed it, but if it's clearly handwritten and it's not you, you have a much better claim. But ultimately, it may be something that has to be resolved by a judge or a jury. So it goes back to what I was telling one of the earlier callers. In Alabama, district court, which is easy, you don't even need a lawyer to go to district court to represent yourself, it's up to $20,000. So if you can't get them to do right, that would be my recommendation. Go to the county courthouse, go to the civil district clerk's office, and then file a civil district court case. I know that sounds confusing. We call your clerk's office if you need more specifics, but that's how you activate a case into district court. But then it goes back to the specifics of, you want a copy of that contract, you want a copy of any letters you sent them to try to get it corrected. The more stuff you can show the judges, the more they like, and that's going to help them rule in your favor. So good luck with that. I hope it helps.
Thank you so kindly.
They'd like to see that paper trail. Let's go to
Absolutely.
Shirley now from Montgomery. Shirley, go ahead with your question.
I'd like to know, do I have to seek a lawyer in order to get my 401k? I retired this year, and they told me they had sent out for my 401k $7,000 to roll it over to an IRA account. I do not have an IRA account. What must I do to get my money?
Yeah, great question, and I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, it kind of goes to exactly what we've been talking about. You need to reach out and ask them for verification of whatever documentation they're saying directed them to do that, and then you need to collect that. You need to immediately send them a letter saying, I did not direct you to do that. I want you to send me my money from my 401k. And sort of depending on how that goes, then you know how to take the next step. But ultimately, if you need to seek representation or you need to go to court, that's an area of the law that I would want to have a lawyer on my side. So we don't do that at our firm, but I would call, I'll give you the number. The Alabama State Bar is out 334-269-1515. And they have a lawyer referral service. You can tell them your area of issues, and they will give you the name and number of local attorneys that handle that kind of claim. So, investment fraud, that kind of thing can be a very serious case. So don't let it go too far. Get those letters started. And if you need that number, reach out and get a lawyer from that. That should help you.
Shirley, thank you for calling. Some great questions today.
We
Great
got a lot of
advice.
them, yeah.
As always, remind folks where they can find you.
Absolutely. It's as easy as dialing 3 for me, 333-3333. Go to the Vance Law Firm website, vancelawfirm.com or WSFA.com, and send your question in, and we'll get it answered here for you on the air.
Stewart, always good to see you. Thanks
Good
so
to
much
see
for
you,
joining
Sally.
us.